I clicked that I said I knew what I was doing, and I was wrong. So I have a sound texture pack on. That's why the chickens aren't clucking; they're quacking like ducks. However, other than that, there's a lot broken with the game, kind of, but only in sound design. So I took it off later at some point. But my problem is, when I updated the game, I said I knew what I was doing, and so a lot of sounds actually just aren't coming on now. Like one of the main ones that you're hearing is block breaks or breaks block, so it's annoying. That's one. The open chest, you didn't hear that, but you can't hear the furnace crackles. There's there's a lot of mobs that don't make sound, and so they really scare me. Um, You can hear my footsteps, but I can't really hear other mobs' footsteps. So, it's it's really weird. But, onto the video.
Alright, and on from the last video, we were collecting a lot of obsidian, we were smelting a lot of coal, and I just about had it done. And finally, I finally have all of it. I've crafted enough obsidian, and it's taken the longest amount of time because I can finally get that nether portal coming outside. I made sure because this took forever. I placed every block so carefully, and I actually put a piece of stone in the portal frame, and I ended up needing to get a pickaxe, and apparently I've never crafted a stone pickaxe, so I got the achievement or advancement getting an upgrade, and I thought that was a little funny. But I didn't have a flint and steel, so I needed to go the old way by taking the glowstone and then getting some the coal and the gunpowder to make fire charge. So I lit the portal and I go in. It's it's Crimson Forest. I absolutely hate these, and I'm looking for a Soul Sand Valley. That's the main thing. So I have to get a little thing, like I have to get out a little bit, and I saw this lava and I wanted to avoid it. And upon me being so careful, I I ended up getting clapped by these guys. I tried my best and I fought them the best that I could, but in the end, they did kill me. I had to go back and get my revenge, but it actually wasn't that hard. Turns out they were 2 hits away. I was just more sad that I lost all my levels because that was a lot of work. By the time I actually found the soul sand, I can just smelt it into sand, and that's what I'm looking for. But I lost my shield, and I needed I needed to avoid everything. I was also there for some glowstone because I'm going to need a lot of that for later. Also, if you end up getting lost in the nether, you can just go to 00 first, and then after you place a coordinate, then just go to it if you get lost. Going back to the main base, I had taken some slime balls and some glowstone to make some honeycomb, and I crafted a bee. And I need bees because I'm looking for honey. That's just know that that's what I'm looking for. And I put it down. I wanted it near my crops so that he could like mess with it and stuff. But by the time I placed flowers and stuff, he didn't like it. He didn't go in the hive, and I didn't know what was up. So I crafted another bee because I may have lost that one. And I crafted 2 eggs, one to put in my little egg chest, and the other one I thought maybe it was because it was the beehive, and so I made a bee nest. I put him out there, and I let him smell the flower, and I just don't understand because he didn't choose the bee nest. He decided to go into the beehive. Why? Moving on, I needed to go into the nether, get a bucket of lava. I was going to put it downstairs and decided not to. Then I needed to look up how to make a cobblestone generator, and then lo and behold, now I have a cobblestone generator. So now that I have the cobble generator up and running, I can mix it with all the sand I smelted from the nether, mixing them together to make some nice looking end stone, which is good because I'm going to need quality for that for making end portal frames. Going back to waiting a few days, I made a campfire. He smelted some more sand into glass, and I crafted some bottles because now after so long I have my first bottle of honey. and I put some more flowers because I'm gonna try and make more bees, and I'm gonna try and make a little bee farm. And I just needed that blue dye because when you mix it with the honey, you get lapis. So that was pretty tedious. So I was organizing my chest, and I finally found my shield. And with my shield, I was finally able to go back to the Nether because I've just been a huge chicken this whole time. So I finally went in, brave as can be, and I was wrong because I got clapped. Going from there, I had to go back with absolutely nothing. I had made another axe to make sure I could do the job just right. Put on the shield, and so with that, I got the not today, thank you. And there was a lot more, and I thought it was so interesting how they were able to just cluster me so well. But then when I got for the rematch after they'd taken all my levels, they decided that it was perfectly okay. I got my favorite advancement, the return to sender first try, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then because I was just looking around when I was back in the Nether, and this time I was looking to piglin barter. So I was trying to find as much gold as I could, craft it all together, and then just kind of throw it at them, chuck them in a hole, and just get what I needed. I I really did need I really did need some obsidian, and with the obsidian, I was finally able to make the end portal frames. So now these are my first 2 of the 12 of the end portal frames, and with that, I I increased my storage. I realized from this point that I've been using literally 1 double chest this entire time, and I think it's about time to finally get into the next chapter as I've increased another dimension and is getting ready for the next one. Upon reorganizing everything, I eventually was going into more crafting recipes, and I realized that I could make the phantom membrane. And I wanted to do this for quite a long time, but I had made the Elytra, but I couldn't really do anything with it. But it still felt really good to have. Some other things I was looking, I finally got the sugar. I got another bottle of honey, and I grabbed some more wheat seeds, which can like mix with absolutely anything basically, or so it feels a lot. But mixing the sugar with the wheat seeds, you can get sugar cane, and then I was able to start my sugar cane farm so I can make the rockets for later. Another thing that also popped in my head is, I need witches. So I went to bed one night and I made a saddle, and I actually was gonna change the recipe, but I wanted to use Minecraft's old Minecraft recipe. So I went and found a horse, and it was slow, so I went on to horse 2, and it was a little decent, but it wasn't until I found love with Francesco. This horse is a speedy boy. Now I don't have a name tag, so I can't name him, but this is Francesco, and he's gonna help me out get outside at night and open more chunks and make far distances when I'm trying to find witches to kill. Back at upgrading the home base, I made some slabs, and I made I made a grindstone. I forgot what the original purpose for this was, but I put it in between 2 of the villagers, and it was pretty nice. Going on to Francisco and fighting all the witches, I had fought one, and for some reason I'm not very good at it. I get poisoned every time, and it's really annoying. But the thing I need them to drop so I can make the egg was redstone, which I did have redstone, but I used it for the blaze powder, so that was a waste. I thought maybe if I was on Francesco, it worked this time, so I thought maybe I could do it again, and I almost killed us both because when I got poisoned, Francesco wasn't moving, and there was stuff coming after me, so I didn't want to get us both killed because he is my only good horse. And I had to wait patiently. I had to heal. I had to wait for the poison to go away, and lo and behold, I was able to save Francesco. Going back to the base, however, I just I finally was able to get my witch egg out of all the many eggs that I can make, and finally I went up to the top because it actually took me to find where the witch egg was, which I didn't expect it to be the first one. But it was good to have the witch egg because I'm gonna make a witch farm. But making some other types of farms that I could make, I also made some flint because I wanted to make a cactus. There's no reason. I just saw a wandering trader and I saw that they sold cactuses, and I wanted one, so I just crafted one rather than bought one because that's cheaper, just more work. I also upgraded one of my villagers, so now he's got a bronze little medal, and he sells pumpkins and apples, which that was a pretty big upgrade. I did upgrade one of the other villagers, but that's a a different time. I also made leaves because I know that Francesco can wander around. I didn't want him to get to the cactuses, so I held my lead and I was looking for Francesco. And I didn't see him. So I already knew, after I made a whole full loop around my base, that he was in the nether. And I had to ride him, and I put him back. He was actually... I know this looked pretty easy, but for some reason he was giving me a hard time going to the portal. So I fast forwarded a little bit. So by the time I got him out, then I really, for two reasons, I had to really tie him up and stick him to the pole and keep him out of trouble. For good. Finally, with the sugarcane, I was able to make some paper, and I made some rockets. And with the rockets, we all know I was waiting for this for a while. I made the Elytra and almost killed myself trying to take flight. It took a few tries and smacked the wall, but it was a good flight. It was a good flight, and I was able to come back, and I was able to go quite a distance. I know I used two rockets, but I want to say I used one because it did smack the wall, and I was really spam clicking. But that was pretty nice. I also wanted to upgrade my base because I'm going to be trying to build a witch farm. And along with this witch farm, there's a lot of stuff that has to go into it. So I opened the chunk borders a little bit, and I'm opening up and I'm closing in. I had to cut some more fences and line them up into the corner. So I have a whole extra 3 chunks of space that I can just use. So I made a base plate, and I started using a backline because the water could flow, but it wasn't flowing the way I wanted it to. So I realized this is a bad idea. So I got rid of it. I know I needed the water to flow at a certain distance, and eventually I ended up getting rid of all of it because I didn't have a lot. And I had a cobblestone generator, so I was just gonna swap the stones. So in the first run, I got 57 pieces. I remade the run, except this time I need to see where the water's pouring. So this is where the witches are going to fall. And I also needed to recognize that the witches are going to fall on a block, and they're 2 blocks high. So I went to the cobblestone gen, and with them falling 2 blocks high, they're going to fall on a hopper that's going to go into a chest, but I'm going to do it in a way that makes it only 1 block tall, because the hopper's on the ground. It's going to just be pointing into a chest. So I went down, looked where he's going to fall, I increased it, so I made the chest, I put it on the ground after making a hopper, and so all the loot from the witches are going to go in here. And I rearranged it later, but I tested it out. I also need to know exactly where I'm going to be putting this mob spawner, and that's where I'm going to be putting it. So I also need to know that when the witches are falling, that they aren't going to get stuck anywhere. So now that I know where it's going, I don't need a full cross, and I just needed to basically build the box, make it dark, so they have a nice spawning ratio. And this ceiling and the walls, I just had to keep going back and forth between because I was just getting too impatient. This is when I upgraded the other villager. Finally, he is now a gold. So now that he is a journeyman, I could get a better fishing rod, which I didn't really need it, but it was still nice to know. And I'm starting doing final touches on the wall. I need to make sure that no other mobs can spawn down here, while at the same time I don't affect it too bright. Otherwise the witches won't spawn. So I placed a slab so that they really don't see me. I swapped it for a witch because the default is the pig, and lo and behold, it's the witches are coming in, and it's really nice. So I was able to get my first loot, which happened to be a redstone, which felt good. I also need to make sure that only I can go into it, which is why I placed the slab, and I can also get out through the stairs. And another good thing that I need to do is, the first thing I need to do is make a spare witch egg, so that if I want to swap whatever's in there, I can. But anyway, wrap up this video, and I thank you guys so much for watching. This is me and Francesco. There is just so much we have done together in this little world, and so much gone. These videos take a while. This is 4 hours for this video. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado,